What is up, guys? Coop here, and today we have a important announcement based off of one of the games that helped start this channel a long time, and that is the Divinity series. They have a new announcement of a new game, Divinity Fallen Heroes, and then there's an awesome new trailer. I haven't watched this yet. I have no clue what I'm jumping into. I didn't even know that this game was happening or it was even announced until just a second ago on Twitter, and I saw that there's a trailer. I saw that there's a little bit of an article and everything, so I clicked on both of those, and we're doing a fresh look together, guys, into jumping in and learning about Divinity Fallen Heroes. So it looks like this is going to be a next installment. I already saw Malady is in this and confirmed to be a part of it, so maybe we're going to get some like cool alternative characters. Maybe it's going to be a expansion upon Divinity Original Sin 2. I know that they said that this is a separate game, so I'm very curious to see what exactly they're going to do with it. Maybe have a cool Dragon Commander spiritual successor. That would be kind of awesome. But we'll definitely see and check this out. But anyways, let's boost up that volume up to the max, and let's do some reactions watching Divinity Fallen Heroes announcement trailer. So, Lorraine Studios, one of the best studios out there.
Commander,
Malady.
Rivellon is burning.
I kind of like her new character model.
Our people decimated. The bloodless have risen, and they're dancing on our graves.
So the undead.
But this isn't my first waltz with you.
Oh, original
this
cast
time,
returning?
I'm not dancing alone.
Okay.
We must gather a special covenant of the
Ship
Godwoken
upgrades.
and end the war dividing our people.
Okay, we're definitely going to have to cut this down in a bit
Sacrifices
to check out
must
some of the
be
stuff.
made. Empires
Multiple
will fall,
characters.
but we will strike back.
Yeah, there's like 7
Using
characters on that screen. What the fuck?
means necessary. Command the Apocalypse Squad
Apocalypse Squad, I like
and
it.
vanquish Rivellon of a new evil.
Okay.
Aboard the Lady Vengeance.
Hey, there we go. Love that ship. Is it flying too? Okay. Interesting. So, I don't quite, like, it just looks like we're fighting off against the undead, but there's different factions. Like, yeah, there's like a dwarf warrior that they're fighting up against and dragons and stuff. So, I'm very curious. Alright, so let's actually dive in first. First things first, we got Malady. Cool character, one of my favorite characters. She's so witty, and like she's on that like borderline where it's like she could be a bad guy with some of the powers and things that she's got, but she's like a good guy, but she's like a flawed hero. I always like to say, like, it's not quite to the point where she's a bad character, but she's enough to where she has like this mystique about her that you don't fully trust her and you don't fully like her, but she's one of those characters that really helps you out along the way. So really awesome character to see her finally in the limelight and getting a little bit more of her in the game. Because I know of Divinity Original Sin, there wasn't enough of her, I feel. Like, she was just such a cool character, and I really wish that we could have got more. So, the main premise bad guys, though, are the Bloodless, which is basically just like a faction of undeads and everything. So, maybe perhaps we're going to learn a little bit more about these guys. I doubt that they're going to be the only faction in the game that we're going to be fighting off against. I'm pretty sure that we're going to have a lot more splinter factions and all that. She does mention how we need to make everybody in the world kind of work together and things. And I think that maybe perhaps there's going to be some faction wars in the midst. I think that'd be kind of cool. So that seems rather interesting, the whole storyline there. And it looks like you're commanding, and there's a command table, and it looks like you have all the original heroes, and it looks like maybe you're in charge of them. Now, what vibes am I getting out of this? Dragon Commander. I think this might be a spiritual successor to Dragon Commander, using an actual better system of combat of Divinity Original Sin. So basically, imagine Dragon Commander, this awesome game that had awesome choices and really predominant good things and lots of different upgrades and everything, which is why we see, like, with the ship upgrades, all that stuff right there. And then on top of it, mix that a little bit with, on top of that, Divinity Original Sin, Divinity Original Sin's combat system. Combine those two together, I think this is what that game is going for. And that's really awesome, because the only issue that I had with Dragon Commander was all the stuff, you know, dealing with the tables and the politics and all that was the strong suit of it. The actual gameplay was a weak, you know, sort of StarCraft wannabe type of game. But this game, with Divinity Original Sin's combat system, making it almost like an XCOM sort of scenario, could make this really, really awesome. So, yeah, you have things like here, like Cluster Bomb. So it looks like it does some intense damage, violently pushing them and blasting into, yeah, chain reactions as much as possible. So, yeah, that's kind of cool. So there's ship upgrades. And the reason I think that it's going to be maybe like Dragon Commander is the fact that, you know, you have Fane here in his workshop, and maybe he's doing, like, the ship upgrades. And then you'll have, like, Ifon, and he's in charge of, like, all the other stuff. So that'll be cool. Now, on top of that, it looks like you have your different troops. So you have, like, mages, archers, and all that with all their different unique skills and abilities. So it doesn't look like we're going to be making custom-based characters so much, like an RPG sense. It looks like maybe perhaps this is going to be more of like a, you build up your different troops and you build up your different armies. Not so much armies, but like your different squads to deal with different scenarios throughout the game and story decisions along the way. So that seems like what they're trying to go for here. I mean, you have the elf lands and things, so maybe there's going to be times where you're going to have a diplomatic mission where you go into an elf land, and depending on how a different encounter goes, different scenarios could happen. So maybe, say, perhaps the elves are fighting amongst each other, and they're both fighting at each other, and you have to choose a side to pick to attack, or you kill both of them, causing a different type of faction war. So I think that might be something that they could be going for. There's a lot of different scenarios with the different type of combat systems, especially with that. I'm a huge fan of Dragon Commander, so I really hope that this is kind of like that. Now the thing is, you'll notice over here, there's a lot, especially in the top left corner, that there's a lot of character panels. There's actually a few more underneath if I move that over. So as you can see, there's a lot of different character panels here. And the thing I'm noticing too, and at first I was like, oh, is this going to be like an action-based game where like you push buttons immediately and they react and there's no turn-based system? I don't think that's quite what they're going for here. One of the things you'll notice is down here, there's still the circles, so it seems like that's the amount of action points that are going on at the moment. In addition to that, you have your different skills here. So it looks like each character has its own unique different skills. And that's going to be kind of interesting. Now, I wonder if we're going to be able to have like different hero-based characters as well, like maybe being able to play like you know, different characters from the past. So I think that'd be kind of cool. They could expand upon a lot of the stories, so having it to where, you know, different characters that we've met all throughout Divinity Original Sin, bringing them back into the limelight, and having it to where we have to choose between different factions in the game and making them join us, you know, and getting some notable heroes out of that. And it makes it to where it's really tough because you have to choose between different heroes, and, you know, people that we allied with are now butting heads, and we have to choose between one or the other. I think that'd be kind of cool. So that seems really interesting. Wait, ooh, actually, I might have been onto something. Over here, we got Malady. Malady is actually in the game. So maybe she's a character we can control? That'd be cool. It looks like we're going to have all the main cast of characters that we can control as well. It doesn't look like we're going to be sticking to just one. So it looks like, yep, we've got all the originals, even Fane. So Fane, Ifon, Red Prince, Malady, Beast, Sybil, and Losa, whatever. I've heard many people tell me different names. I know Losa is the way that most people pronounce her name. I just remember that's a popular joke that was like when I first started doing stuff. A lot of people would correct me, and I would purposely say it wrong sometimes. And then I got to the point where I kept saying it wrong. But yeah, so arcs, and it looks like we're there in like a wintry area. And it looks like, yeah, this is the title card. So... And I don't know who this guy is. Kind of looks like Lucian? No, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But anyways, I got an article too, so we could actually read about what they're going for here. So obviously they're going to give more details as time goes on. It just was announced, so there's not going to be really much. But let's see how much we are right. I think I know what they're going for here, though. The next Divinity game features a lot of returning Divinity Original Sin 2 characters. Isn't a freewheeling sandboxy RPG, so it's not going to be an RPG. It's going to be something a little bit different, but it's still going to have the roleplay aspects, I'm assuming. Let's see, Divinity Fallen Heroes is a tactics game. So think of, when you think of tactics games, think of, you know, Dragon Commander is a really good one because it's in the same series, but think of XCOM. XCOM's a really good one as well. And then in addition to that, we'll have RPG sensibilities, including being driven by a story with plenty of choices and consequences. This is going to be important here as it was in Divinity Original Sin 2. So they're going to add a lot of important choices and a lot of different things you're going to have to really pick, and I'm assuming that it's going to cause different factions to maybe come into the limelight. Now think about this. There's actually a lot of things you can do in tactics games to make it a little bit different. If you could try to save a person on the map, and if you save them, something else happens, or a certain storyline starts because of it. Or perhaps you kill them and a faction is angry because you were supposed to save this person and they didn't survive, causing your game to go a little bit different. There's a lot of different scenarios that they could really toss in there. I think that they have a rough idea of what they're going for here. So let's see. Our story will define everything that happens in missions, and everything that happens in the missions will define the story. So exactly what I said. So we're on it today, man. From this, Fallen Heroes was born. So, okay, so that's kind of the premise. Let's see. So, Lucian the Divine is making a surprise return, commanding players to arrest Malady, who will probably remember from the last game, but who is now playable, which we saw in the trailer. So, lucky guess there, but, I mean, we did see her in the trailer. And I don't think Malady is going to be the only hero. I think there's going to be a lot of other characters that they're also going to bring into Limelight. I think she's just a crowd favorite, and she's one to really get a story going, so that's going to be interesting. Let's see, she stole a powerful doomsday weapons from the Divine Order, and now are afraid that she'll use them in a fit of anger, but things are not what they seem, so probably going against the Divine Order. Shocker. Especially when it comes to magisters in the Divine Order, it's kind of like, you kind of know something crazy is going to go on. If you don't know anything about Divinity Original Series or Divinity and just want to play a tactics game, you won't end up getting lost. So this is going to be an easy one for people to jump in and play the game and have a little bit of fun. While returning players will get something more out of it, the story itself is a standalone adventure. So this is going to be, you know, not something that builds too much off of all the other stuff. People who haven't played Divinity will be able to enjoy it, but we really wanted to continue the characters we developed in Original Sin 2. Which I find interesting. They want to continue the stories with them. So a lot of those stories, it felt like they very much ended and concluded on very much high notes. And a lot of them ended up being leaders of different factions and, you know, having different things. A lot of different storylines going on for them and everything. So I find that interesting. I'm really curious what sort of curveballs and crazy things they could throw. Because a character like Lohse, for example, her character arc was all about dealing with the demon inside of her, and in Divinity Original Sin you really solve that demon, and she just kind of goes back to being, you know, the singer and person that she is, an entertainer. So I really wonder what more could they add to her story and other stories. I'm just really curious to see what they can do there. So maybe perhaps there will be a little bit more twists and turns along the way. So that's definitely going to be something very interesting. But let's see, players who haven't played Divinity will enjoy it. So yeah, I'm just saying that basically this is a standalone. You don't have to play all the other games to understand that. You will now be able to control Malady in battle. If you play Divinity Original Sin 2, it feels like coming home. If you haven't, you're just going to meet a bunch of intriguing characters. So basically, it looks like this is going to be a spiritual successor to sort of Dragon Commander and Divinity Original Sin. So it's going to be set in that world with these awesome characters that we know and love, and it's also going to have a lot of the really intense sort of council-like sort of mechanic where you're going to have to make a lot of choices and different things, and then the tactics sort of combat system, you're going to have to really do a lot of different scenarios to really figure out what exactly you're going to be doing. Anyways, guys, I'm sure you guys can see I'm kind of rambling at this point. I don't want to keep going on and rambling, but obviously I'm excited. I mean, I'm talking 14 minutes now over a 1-minute trailer, and just a little bit of information that we have. But I love this game, and I'm really excited to be playing it. So you bet your butt that we're going to be recording that for the channel, and we're definitely going to be playing that as well. I might even try to play Divinity Dragon Commander. I think that might be a natural, really good game to just jump in and kind of show you guys a little bit of the mechanics that they might be trying to go for with the new game of Fallen Heroes. And also, it's part of the Divinity franchise, so I think you guys would also enjoy that as well. So, might have to do that. Maybe I'll actually do that on stream. I'm not sure. But anyways, guys, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.